Welcome to What About Nutrition on Westplex News Talk 94.1, the show that explores the link between nutrition and optimum health and asks the overlooked question, what about nutrition? Every day there's more scientific evidence and research regarding the critical importance of nutrition for the promotion of optimum health. On What About Nutrition on Westplex News Talk 94.1, we'll focus in on dietary supplements, herbs, vitamins, and homeopathic remedies. What they are, what they do, and how to use them. We will also discuss diet, exercise, and other aspects of living a healthy lifestyle in the 21st century. Your host this morning is Dave Gall, and for the rest of the shows you're going to be listening to, because you're going to be captivated by the show, he's the owner of O'Fallon Nutrition in O'Fallon, Missouri, and a graduate of Washington University and Huntington College of Health Sciences Comprehensive Nutrition Program. Remember, always consult your healthcare practitioner before beginning any new supplements or any changes to your lifestyle. The purpose of this show is to inform, educate, and entertain, not to diagnose, treat, or prevent any disease. So welcome to the Saturday show. It is What About Nutrition, Steve Casper, and with David Gall, Mr. Nutrition. Again, good morning, David.
Hey there, Steve. How's it going?
It's going great. We've got a great show lined up again today. This is our third big show, and I'm so excited about the things that we're all learning about nutrition. And with your store down in O'Fallon, it is right there on Veterans Memorial Parkway, right close to JJ's Restaurant, right there, close to Fort Zumwalt Park. And what a great store. And your shows are indicative of the kind of customer service that people are going to get at O'Fallon Nutrition. I'm excited about that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we've always felt that one of our purposes is to answer questions for customers. Nutrition and supplements in general are something where folks really, need somebody to bounce some ideas off, need resources, need information, and at O'Fallon Nutrition, we really try to provide that. In fact, we have resources at our store like our HyperHealth software. A lot of people aren't familiar with this. We have software at our store that is not tied to any supplement company, but what it is it's a compendium of scientific research on dietary supplements and other health issues. And we can pull that up in the store and print things out for people. They can even take them home.
Been in the store. This is our third show, you and I together, and I'm so psyched because I am learning so much. I really enjoy looking forward to us doing the show every Saturday, which the first week we were from 11 to 11:30, and last week we moved it to 10 a.m., and of course we're at 10 a.m. now, so on Westplex News Talk 94.1. Now, we've got some great topics today. These are kind of current hot topics. When people come into your store at O'Fallon Nutrition, they're asking about these things.
Yeah, and that leads me to ask you, Steve, how'd you sleep last night?
I'll have to admit, in my hectic world, 5 radio stations and so on, I do take some sleeping pills from time to time.
Oh, sure.
And I kind of rotate around from Ambien to some Tylenol Plus or something like that. And it's an Advil PM is actually a very nice one too. But I usually take a half a pill. And it gets me through that time when you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't get back to sleep. That's what I want to do. What I try to do is feel just drowsy enough to that not affect me. Once I get back for the second round, I'm okay. I don't know if that's healthy or not. Probably not. But that's what I do. And hopefully in this half hour here on Westplex 94.1, What is Nutrition? You can help me out.
Well, I hope so. And I'm not here to say anything negative about sleeping pills or things like that. Everything has its place. And sometimes we just need to get something taken care of. Like we just need to sleep. Or we've just got a headache and we've got to get rid of that headache. So I do feel like they have their place. But for me, philosophically, I also feel like if somebody needs help sleeping most of the time, and I am one of those people, I feel like if it's possible for you to use something natural, well, why not try that instead?
Right.
And especially in the case of things like Tylenol PM or these painkillers that have sleep aids built into them, do we really need the painkiller part of it every night? And we're all aware that some of those have side effects. They can be a little bit hard on the liver in the case of acetaminophen, which is Tylenol, or they can be a little bit hard on the lining of the gut as well as other issues. So I'd like to bring up something. People are not familiar with a part of our brain that's called the autonomic nervous system.
Okay.
Now, they're familiar with it in the sense that that's the part that makes us breathe and that, dilates our pupils when we look at something or we're in a bright light. But it also controls something called the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. And these are fancy terms, but kind of easy concepts. So the parasympathetic nervous system is the part of our brain that controls rest and digestion. it's important for it to be active for us to even be able to fall asleep. And Steve, I'm sure you've had situations where you're trying to go to bed and you're sitting there with your 5 radio stations and all these things going on, and you can't stop thinking.
That's right. That's right. Or you're thinking about, I got to remember to take this up to this office, and gosh, I meant to do this thing 3 days ago, and the client's waiting for it. And I mean, you get yourself into a situation. What I'm sure there are people out there listening. Every one of you listening has had situations like this, and it drives you nuts. It drives you batty.
Totally. Yeah.
And
it gets worse over the course of the night.
Yeah, it does.
You get more and more concerned, and what happens is you release more and more adrenaline.
And sometimes you feel like you just got to get up and do something, and then you're going to feel like go to the computer or something, work on some of these things, but then you've lost an hour of sleep.
Right. And so you're sitting there, you're desperate to fall asleep, you're getting more keyed up, and what's happening here is this other part of your brain, part of the autonomic nervous system called the sympathetic nervous system, is getting too active. And this is the fancy term for the part of our brain that controls fight or flight.
Yeah.
The adrenal response. And what I'm getting at is a lot of people are actually sort of locked into this sympathetic nervous system state when they're trying to go to bed or when they're trying to shut down. So what we want to do is we want to help shift their brain over to the parasympathetic, which is the side of it that controls rest and digestion and things of that nature.
Okay.
So how the heck do you do that? Well, there's a few different ways. One of those ways is to have less light around you at night. Real simple.
Really?
Oh, sure.
That's one of my problems because I got the computer light blinking. I have another clock that has kind of one of those fluorescent wraps around it. It's a Honda clock, like my Honda S2000, and it's on the time. So I need to turn those off.
You might want to do that because they do stimulate hormones like dopamine.
I didn't know
and your sympathetic nervous system, and especially really bright lights, like everybody hears about being in fluorescent lights, that kind of thing. Keeping all the lights in your house on. So it's a good idea around maybe 9 p.m. to start dimming some of the lights. You don't have to be in total darkness, but a little bit darker. The other thing, and this is a key point for me, is coolness. And this isn't a nutrition thing, so I'm not going to hammer on it very long, but it's been shown, and Dr. Oz has been doing more than anybody to promote this idea, that human beings tend to sleep better in temperature ranges in the 60s rather than the 70s.
Really?
Yes, and I'm talking to folks at the store all the time, and one of the questions I ask them is, how warm is it in your house at night? And often it's in the mid-70s, and then people are complaining about throwing off the covers and all this stuff, and I think that they're just hot sometimes. But this is a nutrition show, so let's get to some cool nutritional interventions.
But you can use these things with what you're about to tell us.
Oh, sure, sure. You want a little less light, you want a cool room, and you want to avoid anything that's exciting. Exciting things stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, like loud music and video games.
Yeah.
Okay, now, what if I told you that there were supplements who could play a role in helping to calm down these overactive thoughts?
I'm in.
That would be pretty cool. Well, it just so happens that there's a brain hormone called GABA, G-A-B-A. And GABA is short for gamma-aminobutyric acid, I think. And this is a hormone in our brains right now, and its job is to shut down brain cells called neurons when they're overactive, when they're thinking too much.
Right.
So GABA comes along like a candle snuffer, and it snuffs them out. And the beauty is that GABA is available over the counter in health food stores like ours.
Wow.
You can come in, you can purchase GABA. It's safe. There's very, very few side effects. I encourage folks to go to our website at o'fallonnutrition.com. You can look it up there in our reference room and see any detail you wanted to know about it. But the beauty of it is this is one of these substances that can actually, like I said, shut down brain cells that are overthinking.
Wow.
Doesn't turn off your brain. It just helps calm you down.
Right.
Okay, other cool options that we love to use are calming herbs, things like valerian and hops and passion flower. Valerian has the nickname of Victorian Valium because folks during the Victorian era used to use this herb, valerian, to calm down.
Really?
Yeah, it's really a cool herb, and it's great for anxiety and things like that too, but I really like valerian because it seems to help me with that sort of nervous tension at night. I just can't shift over into sleepy mode.
Yeah.
And I find some nights I just use a little valerian while I'm reading a book, and it's like 5 minutes later I get that effect where you can't keep your eyes open anymore.
Or for 2011 people, Well, you got your iPad on your bed and you're going through your iPad.
Exactly.
Which is a phenomenon.
Exactly.
More and more people are doing that.
Oh, yeah. One of my good friends, Keith, has one of those. He loves
Well,
them.
it makes the national networks, not to get off the topic, but they're freaking out because people used to watch the late night TV.
So true.
And now they got their iPads in bed and they put it on dim so their wife or their husband doesn't have to look at it. But no, that's that's called valerian.
Yep, valerian, and the other one I talked about is GABA. That's an amino acid that can calm you. And the final point I want to make, probably the biggest point, so I better hit this one, is the mineral magnesium. So, different minerals affect different parts of our body chemistry, and a very basic point is that calcium is known to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight. Magnesium stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of our brain that shuts us down.
This is great stuff, man.
Okay.
I love this show.
It's a statistical fact that a lot of Americans are deficient in magnesium. There's books like The Miracle of Magnesium by Dr. Carolyn Dean, which I encourage people to check out. Basic point is, where do we get magnesium? We get it from green vegetables and other healthy foods that people tend to not eat enough of. And then there's also issues with its levels in our soil. And the result is that folks tend to be low in it. And when they're low in it, they'll tend to have issues with sleeping because that part of their brain, the parasympathetic nervous system, isn't kicking in so that they can rest. And other things will happen, like they'll tend to have muscle cramps or muscle tightness. And I've got to mention it because it's so common, but constipation is a big thing that happens when people are low in magnesium, so they can look for that issue too. And I encourage them to look for that book or go to our website for more information on that subject.
And what's the best supplement you can take for magnesium deficiency?
Oh, anything like a magnesium citrate, or there's a famous powdered product that you just mix in water and drink called Natural Calm.
Wow. Folks, you're listening to a brand new show on Westplex News Talk 94.1. What About Nutrition? With the Mr. Nutrition himself, Mr. David Gall. Of course, O'Fallon, Missouri is the store. We'll be right back with part 2 of today's show, only on Westplex News Talk 94.1.